Welcome to tonight's edition of Regional News. Coming out of Jamaica, the Portland police are searching for a man who is alleged to have killed his girlfriend following a prolonged domestic dispute at David Lane in Port Antonio Tuesday morning. The deceased has been identified as 29-year-old Latoya Hill, also known as Trish, a school teacher who lived at David Lane. According to the police, the teacher and the man were involved in a heated exchange from as early as 11:30 p.m. Monday. The dispute, which was never reported to the police, went on approximately for 4 hours, after which residents heard the woman crying out for help. Hill could be heard pleading with Lane not to be killed. However, a cop said that the suspect with whom Hill had a child was seen dragging her body along the road from his house to David Lane towards his vehicle. He reportedly made several attempts to put the body inside the vehicle but was unsuccessful. The police were alerted, and upon their arrival about 3 a.m., the body of the teacher was found lying on its back with what appeared to be a wound to the forehead. She was clad in a black dress, a clear plastic bag was over her head, while a pink plastic bag was wrapped under her waist and thigh. Traces of blood were also spotted at the crime scene. We now move on to Trinidad and Tobago. A mother of 9 and her nephew who scammed thousands of dollars on the claim that they were collecting money for an ailing child were fined 12,000 Trinidad dollars by the court. Anne-Marie Nanan, 31, and Sachin Shikari, 19, both of Todd Station Road, Phillips Trace, Talparo, pleaded guilty before a Rio Claro magistrate to the offense of obtaining money by false pretenses. Nanan and Shikari were allowed 30 days to pay the fines or serve 12 months imprisonment. Residents contacted the station and told officers that the two were driving around the village asking for donations to fund surgery for a sick child. Police were told that Nanan and Chicory had a documentation which purported that they were collecting money for a friend of theirs whose 6-year-old daughter was ailing with a heart condition. The documentation, on which police found there was scanned stamps of Eastern Regional Health Authority and the Commissioner of Police, stated that the child was awaiting surgery, which was costing $70,000. The documentation claimed that half of the cost of the surgery was to be covered by the Children's Life Fund, while the other half was to be raised by the child's family. Police said when the two were questioned, they admitted that the documents were false and that they obtained the picture of the child from the internet. We now move on to Cuba. Communist-run Cuba yesterday imposed sweeping price controls on all state and private businesses as it battles a deepening economic crisis and mounting U.S. sanctions. Resolutions published in the official gazette banned all retail and wholesale price increase except for products imported and distributed by the state, which already set profit margins cannot be increased. While state-run companies dominate the economy, reforms in recent years have led to a growing private sector of cooperatives, farmers, small businesses, and self-employed individuals who, for example, work in the skilled trades or drive taxis, and in general operate on a market basis. Cuban President Miguel Diaz-Canel announced earlier this month that the government had adopted a series of emergency measures to fight economic stagnation and dwindling foreign currency earnings that began in 2015 as the economy of key ally Venezuela imploded, and which have been aggravated by a series of new U.S. sanctions. The measures included increased wages and pensions for more than 2 million state employees, amounting to more than 8 billion pesos annually, or close to 13% of this year's budget. And that was all for tonight's regional news.